right. Okay. 3, 2, 1. For those of you on YouTube Landia, we're getting started. Hey, what's up? What's up? We're, as usual, 4 folks trying to navigate these digital streets that were created by wealth hoarders and occupiers. So give us a second, because you know we try them. Just 1 second. And appreciate all y'all. So much love. Okay, so we on Poor People's Radio.
Hey.
Amir.
Welcome to KXU Poor People Revolutionary Radio on 96.1 FM on the dial in Oakland and streaming live on the line at www.poormagazine.org/radio. This is your youth co-host, Poly Scholar reporter Amir Cornish, in the studio today with Poor Poet and Poly Scholar Mutiaro Silencio and Poor Poet Poly Scholar Tiny.
Hey, what's up, family? This is Poor People's Revolutionary Radio. Resisting the wealth hoarders, the corporations, and all the spaces and places that these so-called housed people and haters perpetrate against, bringing in some powerful fellow poverty scholars from occupied Miwok territory, aka so-called Marin County, which is really one of the most vicious spaces for houseless folks to be, and specifically one of the examples all across occupied Turtle Island of so much wealth hoarding and land occupying. But you know, us unhoused nation, we keep on keeping on for liberation. So we are blessed to have our warrior relatives, Robbie Powelson, and I think there's other folks in the house, out the house. Welcome, family.
Nice to be with you, folks. I'm sure that the cause is worthy and that you are as well.
Ashe, thank you.
And so we're out here right now. Mark just filed a lawsuit against the city of San Rafael. We're now seeking it.
Wait, what?
Can he repeat that again?
Wait a second, Robbie. Can I have you repeat that? Can I have you repeat that one more time from the beginning? Because we got a little cut off here. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we just, yeah. So basically, on Friday, City of San Rafael just posted notices here to evict everybody here. Mark, we promptly filed the lawsuit, an ex parte restraining order. It was filed at 9 a.m. this morning in Oakland, and right now we're waiting to hear back about a restraining order to block today's eviction, because this is putting everybody's lives in jeopardy. Mike, you want to speak to it?
I think that with the assistance of Mr. Powelson here and his able assistant and companion, Mr. Jason Saris. They've been very helpful in allowing me to express myself to the authorities that have principally been very kind to me. However, under certain circumstances involving members of the community at large that see homelessness or poverty as a threat to their existence, and it certainly is, but there are things that we can do to mitigate this, and I'm sure that Mr. Powelson and Mr. Saris will be able to more than accommodate those that wish to challenge the power of the people. Amen.
Ashe. Where are you staying, sir? Where are we at? Where are we watching you right now?
Live under an oak tree in San Rafael, there at the Falkirk Cultural Center.
Okay. At one with Mama Earth. Humbly on Mama Earth. Thank you for that.
Yeah, right. And thank you very much for allowing me to have my peace.
Ashe. Ashe. Well, you're always welcome. Oh, always welcome on Roofless Radio. That's poor people's radio, but we honor our First Nations relatives and all of our relatives who are on the earth, right? Let's be real. Who is taking care of Mama Earth is us folks who are on Mama Earth, not these people right?
Radio and television and the power of the people behind it with the heart to deal with such issues.
Oh,
thank you.
All right. Robbie, can you are there anyone else that you'd like to speak about out there today? But also we wanted to honor the brother who we lost.
Yeah, I want to speak in honor and remembrance of Jimmy Sanders, who was an elder, black elder, living outside Santa Fe, who had his Section 8 voucher taken away from him without any due process, thrown out on the street, all of his possessions taken. And for months, he spent under a tent underneath the freeway, under the promise of housing. And while he was underneath that freeway, that dirty freeway, breathing in gasoline, brake dust, he caught COVID, got pneumonia, went to the hospital, and his health rapidly deteriorated. And just a few days ago, he passed away. And it is a direct result of the dangers that he was forced into by the city of Santa Fe, who promised him housing, forced him into a dangerous situation in under a freeway for months. And now he's gone. Now he's gone. And all the promises that they made are empty. Wow. And all the harm they did is real, and we all got to deal with the consequences of this system that's killing our people.
Wow.
All the time.
We
love you, and we pray for you, and we hold you.
Oh, Mateo. I just want to lift up for a second for listeners and viewers. Thank you first of all, Robbie. Thank you, relatives out there in occupied Miwok territory. Thank you, Jimmy, for living on Mama Earth humbly, for having hope always, even in the face of so much perpetration and hate. We know that so many of our relatives die this way. Specifically, as my mama used to say, houseless humans walking softly on Mama Earth. We go through these different little murders of the soul, like she used to call it. And we know we do not have the energy to constantly fight, okay? Because fighting for every little thing, every crumb, is just sometimes too much. I want to lift up our relatives, Luis Dimitro Gongarapat, Luis Tamaj, Lori McElroy, Stephen Taylor, and now Jimmy Sanders. There are too many of our relatives that we lose through this violence of capitalism and violent gentrification and violent wealth hoarding, which goes on in a city like San Rafael, where they have so many resources, where people have billion-dollar homes, that could happen, but it happens all the time. Robbie, can you tell us how, because you said he lost his Section 8 certificate, and did they have him back on a wait list or some mess like that?
Yeah, they said they were going to put him on a list, and then it expired.
Yeah.
So and this guy, he got in a car wreck like 10 years ago. He suffers with, his back would lock up. He could hardly walk from the injuries from his spine being fractured. I mean, this was an elder that needed our help. He needed housing, and he got ignored. And he endured horrible conditions at the Santa Fe Service Support Center for months, trying to get into housing because they promised him housing. And he was one of the few who got passed over. And so, and that's the kind of disparities we're seeing, especially for our Black elders and other people that are discriminated against in Marin County. People, there's a, it results in people dying.
Yeah.
And that's what people just forget.
Yeah.
This is real life, real consequences that you don't get to turn back. Jimmy's gone.
Yeah.
And he was a sweet person. He was a generous person. He was a wise person. I remember the last thing he was giving advice. His mama used to tell him, don't mess with crazy people. Don't mess with people been thrown out. Don't mess with people don't have any friends, because God looks out for him. And that's the kind of advice Jimmy would give. He'd always be, helping out. And that was a generous, beautiful spirit. And now he's gone on.
Oh.
And that's a tragedy. It didn't have to happen that way.
It did not. It did not. I want to lift up specifics too, because you brought up some issues that I think we need to name for any listeners and viewers who are housed and haven't had this life. When you're already dealing with illness, when you're dealing with medical fragility, when you're dealing with disability, and you have to suffer what I call the violence of exposure, which means that we are in a position where we don't have a heater, we don't have a warm blanket, we don't have a place that we can shelter in. When they tell you to shelter in place, how you going to do that if you don't got a place? When oftentimes we're worried just about keeping our clothes not wet, right? When we're in suffering the experience of literally unable to heal. And I really want to bring that up because it's so odd to me, especially in, Marin County, known for all the, what I call healing industrial complex practitioners, that you can't heal when you have no home. Let's not get that twisted. When you have nowhere to go. And you name specifically the aspect that he was under a freeway overpass, which meant, as I think you beautifully pointed out, that he was getting, fumes and essentially poisoned every day. Well, for any of us who know about COVID, and I've suffered it now 3 times, it specifically attacks the lungs and the immune system. So he was absolutely killed by homelessness, but more importantly, by the systems that make sure that we don't matter. I just want to say, Robbie, I appreciate you so much. I know that you're on the street with our relatives all the time as a fellow poverty scholar yourself. People should check out his work on poormagazine.org and also in this month's Street Sheet. Robbie and family, is there anything else you would like to tell us before we close out?
I think Mr. Powell's son, like Lake Powell's son, and I are extremely fortunate to have you folks out there looking out for not only the responsibility of municipalities and organizations that are bent on destroying homelessness in the most brutal fashion. So thank you very much, Mr. Paulson, Mr. Saris, and myself. Greatly appreciate the time that you've given us.
Oh.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate all of you. And we'll let you know how it goes today.
Ashe. Well, we're sending prayer smoke up right now. We're sending prayer smoke up and love for our new ancestor, who we love, and we will be part of our movement over here at Homefulness, a homeless people solution to homelessness, not created by no government gangsters or banksters, created by the people for the people, because we know that's who we got to do. And if there's any wealth hoarders from occupied Miwok territory listening to this or watching it today, please contact us, because we're helping these relatives create their own homefulness in that territory. And so it's all right. It's all about radical redistribution and community reparations. We love you, family. All right. All right. All right. We'll talk to you real soon. Okay. You're listening to Poor People's Radio. You're watching and viewing Poor People's Radio on KEXU 96.1 FM on the dial, and right here on the digital streets at Instascam, Poor Magazine, and also YouTube, PNN TV. We will have the whole show available on our podcast, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, Google Casts, so that you can also hear the powerful work of our youth scholars and some of our brand new Poor People's Radio graduates. So stay tuned, tune back in, and we love you, family, so much. Oh.
Oh.
So that's it.